Mario Kart 9. There were some rumors and leaks and some other speculative bullshit that, we can talk about. So last time we talked about it, we were sort of like on the idea of like, yeah, like, is it going to be Smash Bros. Mario Kart or not? Who the hell knows? But, some rumors and leakers have sort of come out and been saying some things. Obviously, we don't know how good they are as a source, but, it's going to be fun to sort of like think about what the new Mario Kart has entailed, just because I think one of these articles said that Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U came out like 7 years ago, which is fucking crazy to me because I'm like, oh shit, like the game is actually like that old, because the deluxe version came out, which still 2017, which I think would now be like 5 years old. So, Mario Kart's getting kind of old, and there are some sort of like details and speculation going on with it. So apparently it's going to come out this year in 2022, but on a new and improved Nintendo Switch. So the reasoning behind this is because, they launched the Switch with Mario Kart 8, and obviously that game has sold extremely well and is still selling well to this day because it's Mario Kart. So if they want to pull in new people onto this new Switch, they'll launch it with Mario Kart 9. So I think that makes sense. I think that that's sort of like a very reasonable sort of like rumor and leak to sort of spread around. So what do you think about that?
I think that these leakers have been saying there's been a new Switch like every freaking like month. But I mean, it's possible because, the Mario Kart 8 sold insane amounts of like copies since it came on Switch, and since it was like bundled with the Switch and stuff, and it just I think it is like the number one selling Switch game just because of that. So it's a really smart strategy for Nintendo to do, to like, hey, this is like a launch title for the Switch 2. And it wouldn't surprise me if like Breath of the Wild 2 also comes out this year or something, and also like is on the Switch too, right? Like it does the same thing that Twilight Princess and the original Breath of the Wild also did, where it's like, oh, it was on both consoles, like you play on the Switch 1 or 2. And I think it's time for a hardware update, honestly, because the Switch was a very weak when it came out. But now seeing like like the Monolith developers who made Xenoblade basically keep complaining that the Switch is way too underpowered. Like they say they're running into a lot of issues making Xenoblade 3 because the Switch is so weak. So I'm really hoping that Nintendo is just like, okay, we'll make the Switch too. So it's something I really want to see at this point. It's gonna be a bitch to get our hands on one because there's still like the shortages on everything.
Yeah.
And Nintendo sucks with stock. Like if you think it's a pain in the ass to get PS5 now, just wait till the Switch 2 comes out. That thing's gonna be impossible to get forever. So that's gonna be stressful. But I really hope there's a Switch 2 at like this year or next year. Like I don't know how likely this rumor leak is true. But I think it's time for a Switch 2 anyway. Like, it's been like 5 years or something. So, I'll be totally okay with this.
Yeah, I think a Switch Pro or a Switch 2, everyone's been wanting this for
I think we're past the Switch Pro at this point. I think it's going to be a Switch 2.
Yeah, definitely a sort of like a upgrade, a improvement, the next follow-up to the Nintendo Switch probably makes sense at this point. I know that console generations, as of recent, they're sort of like, they go on for, I think, 5 years or so, and then they sort of do the next one, I think. I'm not entirely sure.
I've been like 5-7 years.
Yeah. I haven't looked into like how long the PS4 was on the market for, or the PS3, etc. But, I feel like once we're at the 5-year point, I think people are sort of enticed to, get the next console for whatever company that is, whether it's Nintendo, PlayStation, or Microsoft. And I think a Switch 2, like you said, doing the same exact thing that they did with the original Switch with Mario Kart, Zelda Breath of the Wild, or heck, maybe even Metroid Prime 4, like that game's been in development for a while, and I think Retroware recently on Twitter, they were like, hey, we're like hiring, please help us with Metroid Prime 4. So
I saw that,
like that can also be a very possibility as well. And I think that, a Switch 2 with Mario Kart 9 attached to it can be interesting, especially because this is going to be a actual sequel and not like a Mario Kart 8 Deluxe sort of thing. The sort of gameplay attachment that people are throwing around is like being able to tackle other players, sort of like a cartoony way of actually, hurting your opponent, not just with items, but actually like tackling them. I don't know. That seems like a fun and wacky idea, something that I wouldn't imagine Mario Kart doing, but I'm sure that they might have looked at other kart racers and sort of games within this genre and been like, hey, like what if we did it for Mario Kart? And I wouldn't mind seeing it, but, I think that some people would, not exactly gravitate towards it because Mario Kart, it is a kid's game. It is a sort of Nintendo game at the end of the day, but it's never been super wacky and super cartoony in that way, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I think the gimmick's kind of cool. I mean, I'd make it more like I guess like a, like a combat racer, like Jack X or something. I mean, I don't think that's the best example to do, but I guess that's what they're trying to make their own spin on, is like more that vehicular combat type game. I don't know how big this tackle is gonna be. I don't know if it's like a side swipe or like a little charge you do. But that sounds like it'd be really troll. Like, imagine you're both like on the edge. You know, people like try and nudge you off. Like, now you can just yeet them off with like a tackle. That'd be really annoying. But it seems like it could bring more like actual skill to the game. Like, if you know when to tackle someone, and hopefully the tackle, assuming this is all true, hopefully the tackle has like either a cooldown or some way to punish you if you do whiff it or something, because then the other person can like counter play you. I think that'd be pretty neat. And hopefully, I mean, this leak says best way to describe it is Mario Kart, cross Smash Brothers. I don't know if that means just with the being able to knock people out or with the online features, or if it means that other characters of other Nintendo games are going to be in this. Honestly, I think that is a good step forward. Like, I know some people don't like the idea of Mario Kart becoming like Smash Brothers, like in terms of its roster, but like I said in the last podcast, like, do you really want like all the Koopalings? Like, I don't. I'd rather have like Kirby or something. I think that's cooler.
Do you want gold Luigi? Or
yeah,
actually, you know what?
Peach?
They actually might want that. They actually might want gold Luigi, but you get the idea.
Yeah, like I think the character like selection would be way more exciting if they did that. And like we were saying before, I think unlockables will also be a pretty neat way. I personally want like a more robust single player, but it sounds like they're not going to be doing that from these leaks. It sounds like they're doubling down on the online aspect, which is fine. I think Mario Kart 8 probably has the best online of any Nintendo Switch game, because usually when I play it online, it's like pretty okay. Like I never had too many issues with it. But
yeah, because I think it's not peer to peer. It's like an actual server.
Oh,
because
a server? Okay.
I'm pretty sure, because there's no way you do peer to peer with like 10 other players in a lobby, right? Or whatever.
That's
6.
true.
So, but yeah, I think that the weekly challenges in the sort of like online community, sort of expanding that for Mario Kart 9 can be pretty cool. I think, like you said, Mario Kart Online, I don't really run into that many issues with it. I mean, the only time Mario Kart Online has been trash has been on the Wii, but that's years and years ago. And at this point, Mario Kart 8's online. Every single time I've played it personally, it wasn't that bad. So and the whole thing with Smash Brothers and sort of bringing in other Nintendo IPs or even third-party IPs into Mario Kart can be a lot of fun. I think that bringing in maybe like Olimar and Kirby and all of these other Nintendo franchises into Mario Kart, that could be pretty cool. And also with them comes with their tracks, and you could bring a track from each one of those franchises and sort of see how that all plays out. So yeah, I mean, like you said, we don't want the Koopalings. We don't want pink gold Daisy or some shit, like we want some actual like cool characters that could also bring in tracks and other things like music and all of that other stuff, cart pieces and special carts. So yeah, I think that whatever, Mario Kart 9 brings us, hopefully some of this stuff is true. And maybe there's some other surprises that we don't know about yet also thrown in there. But, Mario Kart 9, whenever or if ever this game ever comes out, I think that it'll be obviously like a hot seller and very, very exciting to see a brand new Mario Kart game after it's been like 5 years. So,
yeah, so either like the next Direct or the E3 Direct is going to be pretty spicy, because there's a lot of rumors floating around and a lot of things that we don't know yet. So yeah, whatever the next Nintendo Direct is, hopefully it's going to be pretty good, because the only other first party Nintendo game that's left to come out is Kirby at this point, because Pokemon just came out. So like that's the only one left in my eyes. Like obviously Breath of the Wild, we don't know. Metroid Prime 4, that's like that's there. So yeah, we don't really know. There's rumors there's also like a Fire Emblem game coming out. So yeah, pretty exciting stuff, And hopefully all this stuff is just both for the Nintendo Switch 2 if it's a thing, or the Nintendo Switch 1. Like hopefully it's for both. We'll see. And hopefully it's backwards compatible, because that would suck if it wasn't.
Yeah, stick with the cartridges, because I think that because they went for the sort of like half portable, half actual home console route, the cartridges obviously it has to be a mainstay, because no one's going to be lugging around discs and shit like that. So
yeah, that wouldn't, it would be like the PSP, like the UMDs. I don't want to deal with that.